So for those of you out of the loop, I have since unlisted and disowned my Sonic Crossworlds video. I made it out of impulse as I was originally going to make a video about my potential concerns for the game until they announced a price, which left me baffled. Now, for as much as it's not a good excuse, I want to say the reason why I was so hard on the game at first was because of the way the fandom was treating it. More specifically, how it relates to the term toxic positivity, which is a topic I've seen plenty of people discuss already. I personally can't help but find it really baffling how the issue has gotten so bad to the point where even if you're remotely neutral on the game or pointing out the issues that you disagree with, you're immediately labeled as ungrateful or emotionally unprepared or just a 2000s fanboy. This is exactly what I've seen happen with SF Productions' latest video on Sonic Crossworlds, and half the comments are filled with people immediately shutting him down only because he bought Mario Kart. Now look, I love Sonic Frontiers, I like Sonic Superstars, I adore Sonic X Shadow Generations, I hate the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, that one just kind of slipped out by accident. But one thing I don't like is people dogpiling and validating different opinions just because you don't agree with it. Now look, I wasn't born yesterday, I know this is the internet, I know your opinion will not always be heard or respected by everybody. But if it's a constant problem that's been happening for years on end, it becomes something worth talking about. But enough about why that video came off so negative or why people are treating it this way. What do I actually think of Sonic Crossworlds as of now? When I initially said I thought the game was gonna suck, I was exaggerating a lot. But I was, however, really underwhelmed by how this game has failed to impress me as much as many others, and to an extent, I do still feel that way. It still kind of looks a little bit generic for my liking, and from the looks of the track designs, nothing has caught my eye in particular, but again, I wasn't really a part of the beta test for this game, and I did hear very positive things about it, so going forward, I am definitely going to keep that in mind. But I think my main thing with this game is that it doesn't look like it'll be nothing more than another kart racer with Sonic. Which isn't inherently a bad thing. I think All-Star Transform is a fantastic game, but when compared to Mario Kart World and the new Kirby Air Riders project, it does look like Sonic is a bit behind. But maybe that's just what people want. Maybe people don't want another kart racer that's overly ambitious. Maybe they don't want one that has a drastic different sense of control. Maybe they just want one that sticks to the formula and just sticks to what the genre is good at. Maybe they just want a Sonic the Hedgehog equivalent of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I don't think there's anything wrong with sticking to what's good. However, when you want to charge the game for $90 on the other hand, okay, this is going to be the last time I complain about this, but if there's one thing I still stand by regarding my initial video, I still think it's overpriced. And look, I know games are getting more expensive to produce and inflation's a thing, but even if the standard was still $60, I still would have said the game is overpriced. Because again, what we have been shown of the game, it doesn't have a lot that sticks out to me that warrants the price. Hell, I heavily enjoyed Sonic Superstars and I thought that game was also overpriced. So no, it's not because I can't afford it. I was literally at Disneyland in a convention just last month, of course I can afford it, but rather if there's enough content in the game that warrants that price. For example, let's take Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the Booster Course Pass. Altogether, it's $5 less than Sonic Racing Crossworlds at $85. With that money, you have the base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, meaning you get everything for the Wii U game, including that game's initial DLC, 96 courses altogether because of the Booster Course Pass, and 8 additional characters. Crossworlds, on the other hand, with its $90 price tag, you get 24 main tracks and 15 Crossworlds segments, which may or may not include the DLC, as well as roughly 20 additional characters. And again, you're paying $90 for some of these that don't have voice lines. Look, I'll be the first to say that I am not the biggest fan of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but the price on that game has more to offer for its price range than Crossworlds does, which is why I personally think Sonic Racing Crossworlds' price range isn't very much worth it. And before anyone brings up Mario Kart World and how it's $500, firstly, no, you're paying $450 for a console that is actually reasonably priced. And it will last you a while with a new game for said console coming out not too long after this video's release. So even though I also disagree with Mario Kart World's price range, I do somewhat understand why they priced it this way. Even though I think it should have been $10 to $15 less. But is this to say that I'm still not supporting Sonic Racing Crossworlds at all? I think it's just a matter of time, honestly. Like, if Crossworlds is anything like All-Star Racing Transformed, where it has creative and excellent track design and has a lot of replay value, I'll definitely look into it and give the game a fair shot. But if it's anything like the painfully bad generic Team Offline Racing with uninspired track design and little replay value, it's safe to assume I'm gonna avoid it. But I will say, I do think it'll look more like the former. Even though I personally am not big on it yet, you can tell that the game is confident and has things to offer. Even though I'm not super intrigued in it right now, I think there's a good possibility that it'll be a fun time. Stuff like the rider gear and the crossover characters are things definitely worth looking forward to. But personally, I'm gonna wait to see what else it has to offer, what the perception of it will be when it comes out, and maybe a sale because I still think the $90 price tag just isn't worth it for what we're seeing. But regardless, to anyone who is getting the game, I want you guys to have fun, and hopefully there's a chance that I'll be in the same ballpark around the time the game releases. And also, please stop villainizing anybody who's even remotely skeptical on the game. It's not a personal attack on you, and you have every right to disagree with any of these takes. Seriously, I have grown to hate the term doom posting a lot because it has just been so unbelievably stretched out at this point. But yeah, hopefully Crossworlds will be good. I have faith in Sonic Team, and I'm really rooting for them. Wait, it's July. That means Sonya comes out this month! Fuck yeah!